All right, we're on. We're recording. What's up? How are you? What's going on?
Good, man. Just trying to survive on no sleep, but we're good.
I put a post up the other day about feeling like I'm getting back to normal.
Yeah.
And I said something in my post about how my feelings are coming back, and I don't know, some people took it like a weird way. And some guys wrote, it's because the trend's coming out. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. But I guess I want to ask, like, are you, now that you're not prepping anymore, you feel like you're getting back to normal? Because like certain things I noticed to get back to normal, like last night, I slept, I think I only woke up once to take a piss. I slept like fucking 10 hours.
I'm peeing less. I mean, I'm still drinking a ton, but I'm not, for some reason, I think when I'm leaner, I pee more, right?
Is it because we drink more, or is it just something in our body because we're more efficient?
I'm still drinking because of my kidney thing. I'm still making sure I'm like pounding water.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just holding it on my face now, and it's not coming out of me.
Yeah,
my face is just ballooning with the water intake. But I feel more stable. I feel happier. It's really difficult because everything's changed all at once. I don't know what's causing I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, I feel less stressed this week than I did last week and the week before that, but then I don't know whether that's because of the drugs fade, like with the reduction in the cycle, or whether we're just more stable with the baby, and that was stressing me. Too many things happen at once for me to gauge. Yeah. You've been pretty constant in that you just stop prepping and your home life hasn't changed too much, right? I can't really gauge it.
Well, I'm like, it's a few things. I noticed, like, obviously, so our dog passed away a couple days ago, and I said to my wife, I said, I'm glad, and I don't know if this sounds bad. I don't think it does, but I said, I'm glad it didn't happen while I was in the middle of prep. And not because of me, not because, it would have interrupted my prep. I wouldn't have been able to been there for her. Like, I would have been like dead inside. I would have been like, oh, why are you crying? Like, that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely a lack of empathy when I'm prepping.
Yeah.
When I call it chemically castrating myself.
Yeah.
You can't chemically castrate emotional empathy I'm pretty bad even when I'm not running the big cycle. I lack sympathy and empathy. I'm like,
I know I'm not the greatest either, but at least like
it gets worse when I'm in a prep, right?
At least when I'm not prepping, it's like I can be human.
Yeah.
Because like I got busted up crying because she was crying, but I was able to be there for her. You're just there for her, rubbing her back and like getting her fucking whatever she needs and making her food. And like, I would have been totally fucking the opposite if I was dieting. So that was one thing I was like, I'm happy. So just going back to what we're saying, like, that's one thing I noticed for sure is like your emotions start to come back. And I don't think it's as much a trend. Like, as we talked about, I always talk about the anti-estrogens. I think it's the anti-estrogens that fucking, the trend makes you like edgy and angry and shit. But the anti-estrogens take away all my like sympathy.
The AIs numb me. I go numb. I'm like, but fuck it. Everything can wait. I'm like, it's not a big deal. Whereas the trend makes me like you said, a bit more highly strong. Yeah. But definitely get that.
So I think the emotions are back because of that. I think like my estrogen levels are probably up a little bit. But also my sleep. Like, the sleep is the one thing I noticed the most. Like, I was sleeping 4 hours a night. I was getting up every fucking hour to piss. Now I'm like, like last night I slept 8 to 10 hours. I was great.
Yeah. Sorry, the baby's going.
That's okay.
I love you. Bye.
So yeah, it feels good to get back to like, it's such a shitty thing in bodybuilding that you can't look your best unless you feel like shit. Yeah,
I always say that, like, from the outside perspective, when they're looking at you on stage, I'm like, you look your best, but you look like the epitome of health and fitness, right?
Yeah.
Is the bodybuilder on stage. That's the point where your health is at its worst, right?
Yeah.
So you look your best, but you're literally fucked.
What I'm trying to find now is I want to get to a place, that like 4 to 8 week mark where you're like, everything's clicking and you're really productive, but you're not dead at all. You're really still active and like feel good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back there.
I'm kind of getting there at the minute because I'm on the way out, right? So
yeah, you've done a much better job than I have of not.
But you've had you had like anniversaries and then this and that, and the birthdays and things come up, right?
Yeah, it's also because I was depressed.
Okay.
So,
I'm trying to give you a break here.
I know
I'm
you are,
trying
but
to,
I just got to be honest. I was like bummed out about the show, and I fucking stuffed my face for 2 weeks. So I posted some progress photos like last week or whatever, a couple days ago. They're not bad. Like I don't feel like total dog shit, but it's just I'm trying to get back to that place where you're like, I'm gonna have one cheat meal a week. It's gonna be a homemade cheat meal. I have trouble. Like I'm like the average person. Like people think we're different, but we're not. Like the average person has trouble getting in shape because they don't have a reason to.
I
And
was
I'm
just
like,
about to say, I find it very difficult because there's no date,
yeah,
right? I'm just trying to make progress right now, but I'm like, there's no like
yeah,
to this point. So I'm trying to create little markers in my head that I can say, like I'm going to do in the Olympia. And I know when I go to the Olympia, I've got a ton of video shoots and photos. So I'm like, okay, right, that's my
yeah.
little thing to stay on point, because I sat here last night, oh no, the night before, and I was like, I had my rest day, which is super low food, and then I've gone into a back day, which is really heavy.
Yeah.
And my appetite went through the fucking roof. So
Yeah.
I'm like laying here on my recliner because Denise and the baby were in bed. So about 8 o'clock they go to bed, and I come out here and I do work.
Yeah.
And then I start winding down, and I hit my vape a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I'm fucking
Like I want a bag of chips.
yeah. And then I did have extra food, so Patrick's gonna kill me. But I made like a bowl of oats, right?
That's not bad.
Well, so I was like, but it didn't do anything.
No.
It was clean, like it just went boom through me, and I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, so I'm like, try to go to sleep, so I wasn't hungry again. I'm like, I know I can just, because I've got a stepson who's 8.
Yeah.
Right. So there's fucking junk. Like if I'm at home, right, when I'm single, there's nothing in the house, right? So it doesn't matter if I want to cheat. I have to cheat on chicken and rice, right? That's if I want to have another meal. There's fucking candy.
Everything. Yeah.
It's that cupboard in there is stacked.
Did you get into it?
And I'm like, no,
Don't lie.
I had almond butter. I put extra almond butter in the oats, and then
that's not bad.
I was like, and then I put a scoop of this like cacao powder in it for some sweetness. That was it. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, it was rough. I took myself to bed but the mindset, I'm having to battle that mindset. Like it's not an easy switch. And for the first time, I'm fighting because ordinarily I'd have been fucking wading through pizza.
Is that why people do these transformation challenges and shit, just to give themselves like a deadline and just to give themselves a date, a goal?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Like, I have it with clients who are non-competitive clients, but they have like these little, I have a wedding, and I'm like, I'm not fucking dying for a wedding because I've done it for a stage. So to me,
it's different. Yeah,
it's different. But these guys never want to get on stage, so they create their stage is the wedding or
the wedding or the beach, or whatever.
And I can see, exactly, the beach. I'm like, I want a fucking diet to walk around the beach because I'm just going to I'm going to end up bloating out. Like if I do a diet for a all-inclusive holiday, I go all-inclusive when I do holidays, right? Because I don't want to, food. I'm a big foodie. Yeah. Well, the worst thing for me, I found out, is dieting for it. Because if I go there in an off season, I just chill and I eat nice.
You pig out and have fun.
My body stays pretty stable. If I go and almost do like a prep into an all-inclusive holiday, it's chaos. I'm sure I figured this out. My blood pressure gets worse, like my water retention. My body just goes, it's one extreme to the other. So I've learned now, fuck that. Just be normal. Just coast in, don't try and be shredded on the beach just for the sake of being on the fucking beach for a half a day. Because by tomorrow morning, I'm going to be a fucking whale again. I better get all the pictures on the beach on day one, morning one, before fucking breakfast, because I'm eating pancakes and going in, right? So I'm literally dieting for 12 weeks to go on holiday for a 2-hour window to get some pictures on the beach, and then I'm turning into a fat slob again anyway. I'm not doing it. Fuck that.
Yeah. What's with the Scoopy beanie hat thing? What's going on with there? Is that like, are you hot sitting in your house wearing that?
Not right now.
No?
I'm okay. No,
I can't. I always want to get one of those. I can't pull that off.
Well, this is my new supplement.
Oh, that's an AP.
It's an AP one, yeah.
So that's pretty fucking trendy of them.
Yeah, they got some cool swag. as the kids would say.
Uh,
I feel like such a dad saying like, "Oh, they got some sweat." I feel like an old man now. Like I'm now in the next generation because I'm a father.
you're a father now, yeah. You're no longer fucking young and hip.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? I gotta get back on track. You're the coach. I started coaching, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's a nightmare. No, I'll tell you why. So, people who talk about coaches all the time, like, oh, it's cookie cutter this, cookie cutter that. Every coach I know has templates for diets for guys for a certain weight or a certain goal, or body or workouts for a certain, like, a guy's got lagging legs, that guy's got lagging back, whatever. I don't have any templates anymore. Yeah. My last computer that had all my files, I dumped a fucking shaker cup full of water into it, and it got fucked. So yeah, I lost all my files. So this whole week, I got a bunch of clients sign on, and this whole week I've been creating new templates. So these people that have signed on are actually getting like custom diets because they're the first ones.
Oh yeah, I'm actually working on these ones.
No, no, like you work on all of them, but like, you know how it is. Like if you do a diet for a guy who weighs 220 pounds and he's like, I want to get to 200 pounds. Yeah. There's a lot of those guys that sign on. So they all start with the template, and then everybody changes after the first week.
If I've got 10 guys, most of them are eating chicken and fucking rice at meal 2 and meal 4, you know? Yeah. Like the amounts might differ, and if they have intolerances here and there, but yeah, you can, if all of my clients started talking, their plans are they have a similar system.
Yeah, but
that's my system.
But that's okay with me. That's like,
it's not a cookie cutter. A cookie cutter is if I just go, I'm not changing, I'm just going to give you what I gave him, which is not what we do, right? We just go, okay, this is my template set up. This is how I like doing my pre-intro post. So you're all going to follow the same system, and then we tweak per person.
That's right. That's right. You change the amounts, or somebody doesn't like chicken, they like steak, or somebody. Yeah. So there is a level of customization, but there's a lot of there's a system in an overall template that goes into it. And we have our guest has come on.
Did you make it? You got it.
We got a different white guy. We got a different white guy. How are you?
Hey, man.
Good. James was supposed to be on, and then James wasn't on. So I was like, who's the next white guy that I know that can replace him? So,
I'm the next one.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just ate some food.
Dude, I saw your side quarter turn that you put up today. Is your chest like doubled in size?
It looks that way, kind of.
What are you guys doing? Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Can I ask because I saw Patrick write something about you guys doubling up on chest. So what are you guys doing that's helping so much?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just like a lot more methodical with the training, like exercise selection. The volume is very like based day to day. Like we're using the volume really more as like the factor for pushing weight loss instead of like cardio or food. But then I'm also hitting it twice a week. So I'm doing it on like a chest day with triceps, and then I do shoulders with some chest as well.
Okay.
So, but like just tons of, upper chest movements, lots of intensifiers. Trained it hard and pushing it good with proper movements. Yeah.
Were you always doing chest twice a week, or is this now a new thing?
I did before in 2018. For the 2018 Olympia when I was working with Jansen, and my chest surprisingly looked also really good at the 2018 Olympia. So I don't know why the fuck I stopped doing it. It's really working. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's obviously working really, really well. I mean, I find now like even I maintain like a lot more fullness, like way throughout the week, like getting more blood in there more often. Right. So
yeah. Do you find, I know a lot of guys, sorry, Ben, I know a lot of guys don't do any decline movements. Are you doing more decline stuff or no?
Not a ton. Like I'll do like dips and stuff like that, and some like war flies and stuff. But I mean, for the most part, I honestly like in my chest workout, I'll do, say if I'm doing 5 movements on the main chest day, like 4 of them will be incline movements.
Yeah, I do more incline too.
Yeah, like I'll do like an incline machine or barbell press, like an incline dumbbell press, some kind of incline fly, and maybe like a flat fly of some sort, dips, whatever. And then on the other day, I'll do like an incline fly, pullovers, stuff like that,
So, but I remember reading a Dorian Yates article where he was saying how decline press is probably the most underrated press of all the benching movements.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I remember I have thrown it into my workouts lately. It does feel really good.
Yeah.
If you're on too much of a decline, you just get a whole bunch of fucking tricep. But if you're on like a really slight decline, you get a lot of chest. So I'm wondering why more guys don't do that shit.
Yeah, no, I used to do quite a bit of it. And maybe I should start incorporating more in, because I think that might be some of the part, like, especially on my like front double, when I lift my arms up, that's I think where I lack a lot.
The meat
like
there,
I know a lot more, like, and you can see on the pictures I posted today, like doing the side chest and side tri, I have a lot more of a shelf now for doing all the incline movements. But yeah, I mean, to throw in a couple decline would never be a bad idea. But I find I hit it pretty good with the pullovers and with the dips and stuff. So I am getting some, but yeah, throwing in some decline once in a while might not be a bad idea.
The main problem I see with people who do a lot of decline, usually it's beginners who do decline or, hi, how are you? Fuck, we got a celebrity household over there. What's going on? It's like, it's like a whole bunch of fucking pros in one house. What's going on? We had two Olympia winners and 4 pros all in one house.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So basically, Ian, you got to win the Mr. Olympia, and Melissa's got to win the Figure Olympia, and then you guys are all set. You guys just have like a house full of Olympia winners.
Yeah, if I come worse than 12th at the Olympia this year, I'm the worst pro in this house. So even if I came 13th at the Olympia this year, I'm the worst pro in my own like little unit. You know?
What does that feel? Is it like, do you guys realize that or no? You guys don't recognize that you guys probably all just feel normal, obviously, but like
we joke about it and shit, and we obviously know it's not normal.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's our reality, so it's like not something you think about a ton.
I guess when people say stuff like, you know, you are your surroundings, you are who you surround yourself with, it's kind of like you guys are
they're like the Kardashians of bodybuilding. Like they're all mega pretty famous. What like
the Kardashians?
You guys,
she'll take it. She likes that shit.
Yeah. No, I just wonder though, like you guys got to market that shit. Imagine like the thing you could. There's got to be something you can create out of that. You got a house fucking full of Olympia winners.
I mean, if we were to do a gym or something, obviously that would be like the 4 of us together, and that's the way we would kind of go with it.
Yeah.
Don't go the sex change route.
Yes. Don't go that route, the Kardashian thing.
Yeah.
No. Definitely not.
So we're gonna. I want to do this real quick. Just to show everybody what we're talking about. So this is your. Did you guys see Ian's side chest?
Patrick posted a good one too. He's tagged in there, right?
Yes.
He posted the other side, so I posted the.
Oh, look at Ian. We got to see both sides. He's like, it's not good enough that you're showing everybody the one side.
And you got a back shot there too. I never really have back shots up.
It's good though. No, it does look a lot. I can't believe this is what you look like at fucking 7 weeks out.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But more important,
I'm getting better for sure, like from a muscularity and conditioning standpoint. So I'm definitely happy with it.
But more importantly, where is it?
I know what you're doing.
Where did it go?
No, you're right. You're in the tag.
I passed it.
But that's the old one. We already watched that one.
Where did it go, Ian?
It's down. No, you passed it. You went by it.
Where is it?
Down, down, down.
Oh, there it is. Did you guys see? I've been getting.
Can't even say it without fucking laughing now.
I've been getting tagged in fucking deadlift shit.
Oh my god, man! Every deadlift video that goes up, I get tagged in. Like, hey, did you see my deadlift?
You see, this whole podcast creates such a lot of drama. Like, a guy had to put up a video and then he took a video down because he was getting hounded by the rack pull shit again, or something. No, a Meadows row, and he put this big thing up because he basically got attacked.
Yeah, so Guy did I think he deleted it now.
Yeah, he took it down. He said so many people were like giving him shit about it.
So Guy did before we go on to that, I just want to look at this real quick. This is actually really impressive. You're fucking Ben is 3 weeks post show. 3 weeks post show.
What's your weight here?
259 this morning.
Okay, this is the impressive part is not that you filled out. I mean, that's good and everything. The impressive part is that you've maintained like a 4 to 6 week out conditioning, and you have no show, no nothing.
No, I'm fucking starving, but it's fine.
I'm just saying, it's really impressive.
I don't know why. Because I sent him the video this morning, and And I just looked at him, I'm like, why did he put the one on the far left? It's just me chill. Like, I hadn't even started posing yet. I just stood there.
Because it looks good.
No, it looks good.
You can see you can see the fullness of the muscle and shit. Like it's whatever he's doing with you is working.
Yeah.
You look a lot better now. Like pre-show, you look better now than you did before your show. Like,
really
100%. Yeah, 100%. And my calories are 4,700 on a training day, but they're 2,000 on a 4,700 on a training day.
I got to start following that program.
And then, but I have 2,100 on a rest day. So rest days fucking suck. Like I'm starving.
Yeah.
On a rest day. But it's keeping me tight. It's keeping me sensitive. It's working. So.
I was going to say that's why you don't look like shit. So Guy took his thing. Go back to the Guy Sister Nino thing. He took it down, Ben? I
believe so. Yeah, he did. It was a Meadows row he was doing.
And then I think he caught shit for this.
Yeah.
But it's below the knee. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't like the bouncing of it, but I mean, it's a fine thing. Like,
yeah, I don't bounce. But I mean, his back looks great. So it's like
the point being is like people were like how you said, Ian, everyone was just tagging you in deadlift stuff, but in a positive way, like in a funny way. People were doing it to Guy and really they were like,
well, that's
considering he's a vet and been around a while, you know, he's been doing this for a long time.
But I think it's because he was just doing the movement wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like the Meadows row is John's movement. It's done like one specific way.
Yeah.
And what Guy should have wrote was, because Guy knows how to do it, but he was trying something different. And what he should have wrote was, I'm doing a variation of the Meadows row.
Variation, yeah.
Yeah, then nobody would have fucking said anything.
My version of a Meadows row, like blah, 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 tried out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's a bunch of like kids attacking him that have no muscle. And I'm like, hey, Guy's an Olympia, a 212 Olympian, but you know, I'm like, how you can give this guy shit?
This is what I realized about the podcast. Everybody listening feels like we're all bros.
Yeah.
So when we make fun of each other, we're actually friends. We're actually friends, so it's okay. So they're like, well, I'm friends with you guys too, so fuck you. And they start making fun of us. So you just gotta take it, because it's like take the good with the bad, right?
Yeah.
So 7 weeks out from the Olympia, what are you thinking, man? What do you think? Who's there? What's going on? Do you know if the guys are flying in from overseas?
I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know as much as you guys do. I mean,
you're talking to anybody or no? Because I talked to Nathan Diasha and he was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I can get over. He's like, he's going to try and get to Kuwait like before they.
I thought he wasn't even planning to make a stab at it.
No, I talked to him 2 days ago, and he said he was going to try and get to Kuwait before they lock down flights out of the UK.
Okay.
Yeah. And if he gets to Kuwait, then I think he said he can get to the US from there.
Yeah, you have to go via somewhere else. You can't come from Europe, basically.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see who shows up, because, man, if I was looking at the list, because I'm trying to do this Olympia series for the podcast, and there's a lot of people that are coming in from, like, internationally.
Yeah.
You know, like Raphael, Nathan, fucking James. And I'm like, if all these people can't come, like, Ian's going to end up in fourth.
Yes. No, I mean, didn't the Olympia a while ago made some post saying that they could get people over? So I don't know if they were speaking out their fucking ass or like what that was, but I don't know what they were referring to in that. I mean, I'd hope they could do, like, obviously they can only do what's within their power. I mean, like, there's going to be bureaucratic restrictions that they can't get past, but it would be good if everyone could get over, obviously. Yeah.
Do you guys know if Sean Roden opted out or if he's not allowed again? Because
I saw someone post a video about this where he was doing an interview recently, and I didn't watch it, but
because I was under the impression that he was allowed now, but he decided not to.
I wonder why he would decide not to.
Yeah, maybe I should have him on the podcast and ask him about it. Yeah. Anyway, I got a lot of questions here. You guys want to get to some of them?
Sure.
All right. I don't know how many. I put this up late, so I don't know how many questions we got, but. Like in Seinfeld, have you ever had a sexual move that you've given to a friend, and what was the result for them? Do you have a move?
Suggested.
Yeah. Do you have a move? Do you guys have a move? No, Ben's a freak. Do you have a move?
Oh, why am I a freak? Do you know what? I'm a lazy freak now.
Because you're friends with Luke, and Luke used to always say, like, when something really like gross came up. Wait a minute.
Don't tar me with the same fucking brush as Luke.
When something really fucked up on the podcast would come up, he'd be like, "I got a friend who's done that," and I always assumed it was you.
Or he was referring to himself.
Yeah.
Like, I got a friend, you know.
Yeah. I'm going to deny that one and say he's just literally skirting around it and referring to himself.
Yeah.
A move. No.
I got to move, but I don't want to fucking talk about it on the podcast. I'm like, what fucking...
Why? It's not a podcast. You're just talking to us.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm going to leave this one out. I don't have any good specific moves I want to pass along.
All right. Is there a move that you've tried that is like a don't fucking do that again?
I can't think of one right now.
I mean, it's very person dependent, right? Because you can try and move with one girl and she loves it, and then you slap another girl and you get a knee in the bollocks. And like, oh, shit.
I did the spitting thing once. That didn't go over very well.
Didn't go well?
No. Don't spit. Don't spit.
Most girls that I've dated, and I'm saying dated, not married. Okay, so this is pre-marriage. Most of the girls I dated were down for the spitting, slapping, abuse.
Okay, wait. When you say spitting, are you saying like because there's versions of spit? Like, are you saying spit in their face, spit in their mouth, spit on their box,
face, down their throat? Yeah.
I think the spitting on the box goes over well. I think spitting in the face is like nah, and I think spitting in the mouth is iffy. It's almost like there's like a high, medium, low. It's like
but mine's different. I think spitting in the mouth is less than spitting in the face. Like spitting in the eye is the one.
Spitting in the face is the most derogatory.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, but
the throat is a bit more like it's less.
That's what I'm saying. There's like a high, medium, low, right? So the worst one.
Yeah, so the worst
one is.
Yeah, like worst is in the face or the eyes.
Worst,
not bad. On the body.
That's okay.
Yeah. There you go. Top down.
So, spitting anywhere beneath the neck is, I think, acceptable.
Yeah.
Is spitting ever good though?
What do you mean?
I'd like they're all like this is from here down is acceptable. This is like okay, and this is bad. But do you think it does anything for the girl though?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Very person dependent. Very person dependent.
But
girls love that shit for sure.
Right, and with the right girl, when you spit in her mouth, it does nothing for me. But the reaction you get is
the reaction is what does it. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you spit in her mouth and you just see her eyes up, and you're like, "You're fucking nasty," but cool.
I think spitting on the box does something for them.
Yeah, for sure.
That could be just my manly
That's pretty standard though. Yeah.
But it's the same the other way around.
No,
right?
I don't mean spitting on a box to get ready to put your junk in there. I mean like spitting on it before you're going to to take care of them.
Yeah.
Just being like completely filthy, right?
But then it's the same the other way around. If I get a girl giving me head and she's just like doing it conventional, or
if she spits on it, you're like,
I'm like, oh, you're into this. Like you're enjoying this too.
It's showing the enjoyment from the other side.
What if a girl spit in your face? What would you do?
No, she's getting an elbow back. She's getting this. She's getting that.
I'm down for that. I'm down for a spit in the face.
No,
depends how.
I can't do pinching either. So
pinching.
There are some girls that like their nipples being touched. Right? If a girl touches my nipples, I get the fuck off of me.
Yeah, you can't do that to a bodybuilder.
I'd be okay with spitting in the mouth, but yeah, in my actual face, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't fucking spit on me.
It depends how it was done. It depends how it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could take the mouth. I could if we were like, but if she pulled back and just in my face, I'd be like, out.
Yeah.
I like get out. I'll finish this shit myself. Leave.
I don't know. I think it's okay. It depends on I think it's okay. I mean, if it's done in a demeaning way, then yeah, I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right? It's just like.
I mean, how do you spit in someone's face in a non-demeaning way though?
Well, I'm not going to.
Are you choking their hair and spitting their face at the same time?
No, but it depends if they're saying something while they're doing it. Right?
Yeah, the context matters.
If they say the right thing before they spit, or after they spit, it makes the spit okay.
So if she says you're a piece of shit and spits in your face.
Yeah, that's not going to go over well.
And you're fully clothed in the supermarket.
Actually, that might go over well. I like a little bit of fight back.
Yeah.
But not if you're both fully clothed in public.
No, that's not going to.
It's a grocery store. It's a grocery store. Yeah.
No, pain for me is out too. Like the whole hot wax bullshit and fucking like whips and shit. I left a girl's house once. Yeah. She did the whip thing. I'm like, I'm fucking out. Peace. And I fucked off. I was like, fuck this shit.
Did you leave the collar on though?
Yeah, I walked out with the mask on.
He kept the whole game suit on, just walked out.
I was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. I had the whole fucking
I'm keeping the fucking hood. Fuck you, it's fine.
No, pain is out. What about food? You guys do food?
I've never really.
You've never done food?
I'm not a multitasker, man. I've done food. I'm eating. I'm not doing both.
Like real food or like sexual food that's like made for that kind of shit?
Both. Both.
I can't think if I've done any food.
I've included oatmeal before, for fuck's sakes. Oatmeal. Man,
you're really getting hungry these fucking days.
I didn't say it was. I didn't say it was recent.
Now I'm just picturing Fouad weighing out like 80 grams of oats and eating it out of his fucking wife's box. I'm like fucking having a weird.
No, wait. Was this before you came out with your intra-workout and now you just do a shake?
This was a long time ago. It was a long time ago, but yeah. There's. Name a food. What do you do with the oats? Were they just in a bowl and you just casually ate them with a spoon, or did they get involved? Did they actually get involved and you put them on body parts? And... I'm not going to tell you the rest. Anyway, so yeah, it was cooked. So it was cooked. Yeah, and I didn't eat.
Wait, I've just got a vision in my head. It's like
you'll never.
Wait, doggy style, and you're using her as a table. So as you're eating,
yeah, this is what I'm picturing. I'm picturing it like a real eating
You're not far off.
And was this like regular quick oats, or did you at least get some like apple cinnamon Quaker?
No, it wasn't steel cut. It was like instant. Like just put them in. Yeah. No. Anyway, listen. So, name a food you've used during sex.
Well, I can't even think if I've used any.
Really?
Does ice count?
I was like peanut butter, oats, cookies. Cookies.
Isn't you're just talking about good food that you eat when you're watching a movie, though. What do you?
Well, sometimes
you're just getting frisky during the fucking Netflix and incorporating the food at the same time here.
Sometimes they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Good one.
So, what else? Pain, food. What else are we missing?
What about peeing and like?
No.
I'm not down for that.
In the shower, I've done that. I peed on my wife in the shower.
I've tried it and I went, I don't get it.
She didn't know I was peeing on her. I just did it. I just did it because
I wouldn't care about being peed on really, but like when you're getting into shit and stuff, I'm not down with that.
Okay, well, I would never let anybody pee on me in like dry in a bed. Like if I was in a shower and a girl was like, I want to pee on you, and it was like, I'd be like, yeah, all right, whatever. I mean, like not on my.
It's not doing it. It's not like doing it. Like when they do it, I'm like, I'm not getting turned on by it.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't do anything.
Cool. Can I wash it off now? Thanks.
No, I did it like more like as an immature little fucking idiot. I just wanted I peed on her leg without her knowing, just to say I did it. I was like,
oh, so you weren't banging her and then just
no.
You know what? I do have a friend, and I mean this in not the Luke way. I have a friend who's another person, not me, who would go to Thailand, and apparently I never witnessed it. I just got told, and he confirmed it. So this is what he did. He'd get with these like Thai massage girls and he'd lay under a glass table and have them shit on it.
Oh,
jeez.
I mean, not on him, but it's on the table.
You and Luke have the weirdest fucking friends. I'm like,
you can pay for almost anything in Thailand, eh? Fucking hell.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I see people do the shit thing and I'm like, how is that? That doesn't do anything. Like nothing. At least the pee, like the golden shower thing. I'm like, I could kind of see that. I don't like it myself, but I could kind of understand it.
That I could kind of get down with the shitting on tables and fuck that. No.
Yeah. All right. Have you ever tried? Oh, what's the next question? Have you ever tried getting pegged, regardless of yes or no? Do you think you'd enjoy it? No, I don't.
No.
I think a tickle is different than a full peg.
I commented on this, by the way.
Did you really?
I said, don't knock it until you try.
No, but can't knock
it. Fucking hell, this is bollocks because my dad watches this. So yes, I've tried it, but not like a full on, like, I'm talking like
a finger. Like a finger.
Yeah. And I'm like, that works for me. I'm
I'm down with that.
But that's what I mean by a tickle.
But if you're putting on like a 9-inch fucking
strap on, just fucking going to town, yeah.
Yeah, what's his name?
So you're okay with it? The size matters. Like if it's too big.
Yeah, if it's 8 inches is okay, but 9, that's his limit. Oh no.
Where's your border?
And it also depends whether I'm off season or not. If I'm in a prep, there's a bit more room in that. You know, I've got some more room to play around with.
Okay, that's getting
off season.
I'm gonna tell you something really gross. That's how I judge how lean I am.
What?
Well, how many times you shit in?
No, when I'm in the shower and I'm washing my ass, I'm like,
how deep it is to get in
if
there?
if I have to struggle to get to my crack, I'm like, I'm fat. I gotta get. Because you know when you get shredded, it's like open.
It's easy. Yeah.
It's just open.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's. So, I can't believe we're talking about it. So no, I said to my wife one day, I'm like, it's fucking. This is how I don't know why it hit me this year. After 20 years, I'm like, this is how I know when I'm lean.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's just open.
Yeah.
Not the actual like.
I mean, it's still tight, right? It's just not.
The hole's not open. The crack,
okay. I had to clarify. I'm like, we diet differently.
This show's fucking gone off the rails. Fuck. No, yeah, I'm okay with the tickle, not with the peg. What's his name? Luke used to say all the time that he was jealous of his friends. I don't know if it was him, but he said he was probably talking about friends. He said he was jealous of his friends because they used to do it, but he didn't enjoy it himself. But he was jealous because they would always tell him how good it was. And I always assumed it was you.
I have a better analogy. Actually, well, maybe, but not. I'm not into the full on like hold me down and hump me thing with it, right? But I have the same analogy with spicy food, right? Because I can't do really hot food, and I feel like I'm missing out on really good like curries and spicy food because I can't tolerate it.
I don't feel like I'm missing out. You feel like you're missing out?
Like, yeah, I feel like we see people and they're you know what I mean? Like they're eating like a good old spicy meal, and you're like, that looks like they're having fun with it, but I have it, and my whole fucking face lights on fire, and it sucks.
Yeah, I've never had that because I don't like spicy. Like I like, we have to make a distinction. I don't like hot food, but I don't mind spicy food, but not too spicy. Like in the middle, right? But I've never been like.
My sister will go into a restaurant and she'll ask for their hottest dish and she'll ask them to add spice to it.
Yeah, I enjoy
it. And they always ask, like, double check, are you sure? But like, she'll go in and the whole menu is open to her, right?
Yeah.
I go into an Indian like takeaway and I'm like, I can only eat like the first 3 dishes, and the others might taste really good, but I can't touch them because they're off my radar. You know.
I guess I know what you mean. I actually have been to an Indian restaurant before and been like, I wish I could eat some of that stuff. Looks really good, but I won't order it. Yeah.
I wish they did a non-spicy version of that because it looks good, but I can't eat it.
It's weird that we got to Indian food from pegging.
Yeah.
And the two really don't go together.
Don't do one after the other.
Yeah.
Well, no, you can. Yeah, actually, either which way is going to suck, right?
Yeah, both ways is going to suck.
Okay,
on this topic, what about tongues and stuff in there?
Oh yeah.
That's yours.
Yeah. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Get some peanut butter down there. Get some peanut butter down there.
Peanut butter's going.
No, they don't go together. They don't go together.
Get the oats down there.
Once he gets really lean, so he can get really deep in that ass crack, he's taking that up with peanut butter.
Okay. This way he gets the instant because he hasn't got to cook them because there's enough body temperature.
You know, sometimes we talk on this podcast and you don't realize what's happening, and then you realize you've just made a permanent joke for the rest of your life that will always stay with you. Yeah, that's what happened just now. Fuck.
Yeah, you were packing oats in your ass, and
that's not. All right, the food is separate from the ass. Let's just make that distinction now. Okay, that's fucked up. Okay. Would you rather fight 2,000 squirrels or Mike Tyson? Nah, kind of silly. What do you think?
Squirrel.
2,000. That's a lot. You're gonna get fucking clawed up pretty good. I'd rather just get fucking one hit.
I'd rather get knocked out. This is like the Luke thing with the ducks and the bear, and I'm like, I'd rather just get eaten by the duck because I'm gonna get killed either way.
Yeah, I'd take Tyson. I think.
Yeah, I'd let Tyson knock me out, and I'd just be fucking out.
Yeah. What about the Rock? What about the Rock?
Death by 1,000 scratches by the squirrel. So fuck that shit.
I'd rather fight the Rock.
Yeah, because you try and like kiss him or something.
I'd ask him if he want to go to eat.
There was an ass lathered full of peanut butter and say, "Hey, Rob."
Hey, you guys, Ben's the pegging guy, not me. Remember?
You're the oat, yeah, but you're the oat guy.
Yeah, but you're the 8 inches, not 9. So, all right. Exercise intensity and frequency for muscle gains, please. That's way too vague. Who would win a Royal Rumble match between everyone who's ever been on Bodybuilding and Bollocks podcast, and why would Guy Cisternino be the first one to be eliminated?
That's funny.
You see, Guy gets fucking shit on.
Yeah. You know why? Because usually the loudest guy is the guy that people want to attack the most.
Loudest guy, that's true.
Who would win in a Royal Rumble match? I have a feeling James would be hard to beat.
Yeah, James is a tough one to beat. Yeah,
he'd be just like a boulder. Like he'd be hard to fucking move.
He's just too mentally like, you know.
If we're including Luke, which we should, because he is the original Bodybuilding and Bollocks.
Anyone who's been on the show. So yeah,
I would say Luke. I would say Luke would be the hardest to beat.
Luke and James, I'd like to see. That'd be good.
Yeah.
The thing with James is that he'd be half dead and he'd still be coming at
That's
me.
what I'm saying.
Like, hey, give the fuck. Like, I'd be like, okay, my arm's broken, my leg's broken, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I know when to call it quits. Those two would be like, who would just keep coming at you. Like, fucking enough already.
Yeah. Guy would Guy be the first one eliminated?
Who has been?
I mean, the three of us, I've had Nick on. Nick Walker would be good too.
Seth's been on here, right?
I have a feeling Seth can handle himself.
Yeah.
I think Guy can handle himself too. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun picking on Guy because
in a third grade fucking class he can handle himself, but you know.
I didn't say it.
Against the squirrels.
Seth, Luke, James, you guys, Nick. Oh, I had Greg Goliath on here once. That'd be fucking tough.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Greg Goliath would throw a few people over the ropes.
Yeah.
I think Nick's too nice. He doesn't seem like he's got that mean.
Yeah, Nick is a nice guy, I think, yeah.
You think Greg Goliath would be clumsy, or you think he'd just be launching people over the ropes?
I think he'd be awkward and clumsy.
Yeah, but he'd be very hard to manipulate yourself.
Like, would it be like an Andre the Giant where you're just like smashing faces over the ropes kind of thing?
I don't know. Is he any stronger than any of us, though? I don't think so.
Well, he's not stronger than you guys.
No, he's not stronger than James.
I've never seen him in person.
I've never seen him in person either. He just looks.
I heard that he's deceiving.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not big.
I don't know how much of that.
He's admittedly the king of the angles, though. You know.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's a big dude. But on his pictures, he looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much of that you can, unless he's actually using Photoshop.
No,
I don't know. I don't know how much of it you can. No, I know what you're saying.
I still think he looks like a 320-pound monster.
Yeah.
I just don't think he looks like a 380-pound monster.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Which he does on his Instagram pictures. He looks. They all look photoshopped, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he is photoshopping them. I think he's just very good at projecting his.
Exactly. Good at angles and good at photos.
Yeah.
So we think James could throw Greg over the ropes.
I think so.
Craig. Okay. All right. So James is a winner. Guys first. Okay.
Sorry, Guy.
How old is too old to start bodybuilding? Never. I don't know what that means. You want a competitive bodybuild? That's a different story. Then you probably don't want to start when you're 35. But just
the guys competing at the amateur level in their 70s.
Well, I mean, it depends what he wants. If he's asking about being a pro,
the context matters. So if you're just wanting to have like fun and be competitive and do a couple of shows and build a good physique, there's no limit.
There's no limit. Yeah, but if you're
trying to win Olympia, I mean, if you start at 35, you might be a little late.
Yeah, like it's just common sense. Like it's like any other pro sport. You wouldn't ask me. It's weird because it doesn't happen in other sports. Nobody would go up to like LeBron James and be like, "I'm 40. Can I start playing basketball now?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like nobody would do that.
Muscle takes time.
Yeah.
You know, obviously I know developing skills and stuff like that do as well, but muscle is a very like time correlated thing. So I mean, it's a lot more relation to I think than other sports. So guys be like, can I? Is it too late? It's like, well, yeah. If you're 35 already, you're probably not going to build enough muscle by the time you're too old to be competing.
I think it's the same thing. I think if you're talking about being great at a pro level of any sport,
it's going to take time.
If you didn't start when you were fucking 10, I mean, actually, in bodybuilding, you can start later because if I want to be great at basketball or great at hockey or great at football, I probably started when I was 10 years old.
Well, yeah, and your clock is limited. You're usually not playing elite level sports in your 40s.
Like Ben,
very realistic.
Like Ben, you played soccer or football, as you call it in the UK. Those guys probably start playing when they're 5 years old.
I started when I was five, and there was no other sport pretty much in my life. You know, we were having this conversation the other day because my stepson plays he played American football for like 3 months, then he goes off and plays baseball, then he goes off, and I'm like, why do they not just focus on the one thing that they're like? My sister was the same. She went and played netball, right? She played for England, whatever. But from 4 or 5 years old, we had our sport. We were locked and loaded. That's what we did.
I was the same.
I actually think they're asking, Ian, because it's the opposite. Because I think people know in other sports, if you don't start young, you're fucked. You can't go play.
Maybe that's right. Yeah.
You can't go play in the NHL unless you started when you were fucking playing Little League or whatever they call it, Pee Wee League into football and stuff. So I think in bodybuilding, they're like, well,
maybe I could start later. Yeah.
Maybe if I'm 30, I can put on, like fucking Patrick Moore's a good example. He started when he was like 32 or some shit.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
So I guess it depends on the context of what you're asking.
Yeah. How far?
And your genetics, because if you've got it, you've got it, right?
Yeah, like if Phil Heath started when he was 35, he might still be Mr. Olympia by fucking 42.
Well, he did start when he was 24, right? Which is
Nick
late Walker. Nick Walker's, Chris is 20.
Olympia by 24.
Right.
Yeah.
Arnold did the same thing. So if you've got it, you've got it.
There's a lot of factors that matter, but I think bodybuilding is the one sport because you can't. I don't know of any stories in football or hockey or where guys started when they were 20. Or 25.
There's another sport that does.
What's that?
That's what we watch.
Fighting. Yeah, but they're usually athletic in some other sport.
Right, but they do some. There are some guys that cross over brand new and in their 20s, and they also fight become world champions in their 40s too. So,
but I think fighting is not. How can I put this? I think if you're a natural born, okay, let me see if this is going to make sense to you. You know how there's like natural born fighters and then there's athletic technical fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I think of George St. Pierre, I think of a technical athletic fighter.
Yes.
When I think of Nick Diaz, I think of a natural born fighter.
Yeah.
But also has a technique, obviously. But like he's a natural born fighter.
Well, Brock Lesnar would be a better.
Or like Robbie Lawler. When I think of Robbie Lawler, I think of a natural born fighter, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's different because you can be a tough guy and then learn the technique, right?
Yeah.
So I think fighting, you're right. Fighting is also one of them where you can start late.
Yeah.
Actually, I think fighting would probably be easier to start than, and I shouldn't say easier, but fighting is more likely, you're more likely to be successful than bodybuilding.
I would agree.
If you have natural toughness, right, and grit, I think you can learn the skills in a shorter period of time than you can put on 50 pounds of muscle.
I agree. Yeah.
Because if you're a 200-pound guy and you want to be a professional bodybuilder, it's going to take you 5 to 10 years to put on 50 pounds of muscle, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're naturally tough, brute, like just a fucking animal kind of person that can fight, you can probably look at Gaethje. Gaethje's a good example. I mean, he had a lot of wrestling, but he didn't use it in the beginning.
Yeah,
he was just a brawler, and they learned technique as he went.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And there's a lot of other avenues in fighting where you don't have to be good at everything. Like in bodybuilding, to be a pro, you have to be fully developed. You have to be well-rounded, right?
Yeah.
In fighting, especially in heavyweight, you can just be a good striker. You don't have to be good on the ground. You don't have to be good at grappling. You can
actually. Gaethje's a perfect example of it. Now that I think of it, even though he has top wrestling, he's a really great wrestler.
Well, no, I think Brock Lesnar's a better example.
Well, he has a wrestling pedigree too, though.
Yeah, I know, but he just came in just as an athlete, as a high-level athlete that could take a hit, that could dish out punishment, right?
Yeah,
and he was world champion. Well,
the reason I like Gaethje is because Brock could use his size to dominate people, whereas Gaethje was just a fucking tough guy.
Yeah.
He was just a violent person. But
Greg Hardy's doing the same thing, right? He went from the NFL.
Yeah.
Now he's competing. He's just a high-level athlete.
Yeah,
I think it's easier for heavyweights.
Yeah. There's far less skill in, but that's what I'm saying. You can just throw and bang.
Yeah.
Size and striking matters more.
Yeah.
Best gyms you've ever trained at, or what would make the perfect gym in your opinion? I think me and Ian discussed this last week because you were talking about you possibly want to open your own gym.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned that Optimum gym in Tampa. That's why I said.
Yeah, Ben, I don't know if you're in agreement, but we kind of like the gritty, not Metroflex, but close to that. Like,
have you been to the Metroflex in
Long Beach? That's my favorite gym.
That's what he said. Yeah.
That's what I said last week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that place is just.
We pulled up pictures and everything. Yeah.
I pulled up photos of it because it's my absolute. Like, if I ever had a gym.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I missed that. Yeah, that's also World Gym in San Diego. Just the environment in there is good. It's hot as it's fucking hot, but it's just a cool place.
Yeah.
Have you been to the gym in San Diego?
Isn't that
That's
the
what
old World?
Huh?
Isn't that the old World Gym? I'm sure it was the World Gym before.
It might have been. Sure. It's just called the gym now.
It's like they've got big shutter doors that open up.
I don't know. I've never been there, but I see guys train there once. Some guys say it's nice, but I've never been.
I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, so I'm sure someone will correct me. I'm pretty sure the World Gym that I'm talking about changed ownership to the gym.
Okay, that might be, yeah.
I might be
wrong, but
I like Dorian's gym. So Dorian's got Pure Muscle Fitness in Burlington.
Yeah.
If it was my,
that looks a little.
This is the thing.
That's a very fancy gym.
That's what I was gonna say. So it's not. I wouldn't say it's fancy. Like when I think of fancy, I think of Movati.
It's one under Movati in fanciness.
I don't think. You feel like fancy is the wrong word. I feel like it's just too clean. Like it's got a. I just trained there last week, or earlier this week. So I feel like it's got a hardcore feel, but it's missing for me anyway, because everybody has their own style. I like kind of like the cement floors.
Yeah.
I like the, some shit written on the walls.
Yeah, banners on the wall, pictures.
I like a little bit of dirty. I like a little bit of dirty in my gym.
Yeah.
I see a few needles on the floor and some shit.
Not that dirty. We're going a little too far.
Everywhere.
Although I have trained at gyms with biohazard bins in the locker room. Yeah. I'm like,
that's not here in Ottawa.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Wow. I am forgetting about MuscleWorks, the one that Luke and I trained in for good 2 years. I moved house to be closer to that gym. Then Luke moved house so we could go and train at that gym. That tells you something, right? When you move, relocate.
Is that King's Gym? Is that nice?
That's what I like. I like that
King's Gym is more about atmosphere than anything else. Yeah. The equipment in MuscleWorks, you would go in there and be like, fucking, this is amazing. Perfect. And the owner, Luke and I went into business on the Brutal Muscle thing with the owner of MuscleWorks. But when we first went there, we went in and trained, and then afterwards we were like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, you probably need like this and this. So the owner, John Thurston, he said, oh, okay, all right. Made a few notes. 2 days later, we went back, and as we're training, this truck comes in with all of the equipment that Luke and I had said he should buy. So there was like 8 Texas power bars. Then he went and got a whole ton of Arsenal strength stuff. He ordered the Ivanko 250-pound dumbbells for Luke.
Yeah.
It was a place. He set that place up so that Luke could become Mr. Olympia, right? He didn't, not originally, but once we started training there, he went, what does Luke need? And he kitted it out. It's the fucking that.
Isn't that amazing? That's like a throw. That guy's a throwback.
Yeah.
Because gym owners aren't like that anymore. Gym owners now are like, I want to make a family environment, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man.
No. John has, I don't think he's missed an Olympia. I think this might be the first Olympia he misses in like 25 years.
I mean, I know what they're doing, right? Because guys like us don't make the gym money. If anything, we cost the gym money because shit gets broken and whatever. But like, I don't know. It's something to be said for a gym owner that actually cares about the fucking guys that train. You know what I mean?
John is a successful businessman.
Yeah.
Before the gym.
Oh, so the gym is like a passion for him, not necessarily a living.
He opened up the gym just because he could, right? And so then he just went, fuck it, I'm going to open a gym and I'm going to make it the best.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
If you could live out the life of any movie character from any movie, who would it be and why? What movie characters has The Rock played?
I don't know. I'd be down to be like fucking Batman or something.
I was going to say Superman because...
Yeah.
If you could live out the life of any... Does it have to be a realistic one?
No.
No, it said of any movie.
It's fucking Superman, bro.
I'm trying to think.
Or wouldn't you just be like Morgan Freeman in Evan Almighty because he's God? I'll just be God.
You're just God.
Just God. Yeah.
I've never even thought of that question.
Neither have I.
It's a tough one. Who's the coolest movie character you've ever seen in a movie?
I don't know, fucking James Bond. Like, who the fuck's cool? Like,
Yeah, or like any of
Who's a really cool character. Not that
any
I
of Tom Cruise's characters, basically.
No, the Brad Pitt in Snatch. That's a good character.
Yeah.
He's a badass in that movie.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy plays a lot of cool characters as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it. I got to think of that while we talk. How many milligrams of stimulants prevent you from getting a good pump? I think it's probably varies from person to person, but the main number I've always heard and what we put our products below is 375.
Yeah.
375 milligrams of caffeine, then you start constricting blood vessels.
Vasoconstriction, yeah.
Yeah. So then you're not going to achieve the pump you want, which is crazy because if you look at a lot of the stim pre-workouts, they're like 500, 600, and it's funny.
People are double scooping the fucking things anyway,
and then they double scooping them. I'm like, your workout's artificial. You know, Cedric used to say that to me. Cedric used to say to me, I don't use pre-workout. And I was like, why? He's like, because I feel like it's artificial. He's like, I feel like if I'm tired, then I should be tired. And if I'm not tired, then I should just go train like the way my body wants to train. I don't agree with him.
I don't agree with that.
But I'm in the middle point where, like, if you need so much stim that you're double scooping like a 400 or 500 milligram scoop, and now you're getting like 800 to 1,000 milligrams of stimulants, something's wrong in your fucking diet or your sleep. Like, you shouldn't need that.
What's the average in like a 12-ounce coffee? Do you know?
It's 200. I think it's 200 milligrams.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 200 milligrams. So we originally made Hostility 200 milligrams. And I tested it out for a little while. I'm like, I don't think it's right. So we went to 300. And 300 feels good. Like, you have a good sustained release of energy, but you're not obviously you're not past that 375 mark.
Yeah.
See, because I like having a coffee about an hour before I train. So then I shouldn't have a pre-workout as well, right?
Well, unless you take like Bloodshot, or you took a pre that didn't have a stim in it.
Maybe like 200, 150.
Because I feel like people forget the performance ingredients actually matter. Like, people are just looking at energy, and I'm like, you're forgetting all the pump products that are actually in the product. So, like, if you drink a coffee, I would just be like, go take a non-stim pre. That way you still get all the performance ingredients, but you're not adding more stim where you don't need it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I feel like that's probably the most beneficial.
That's what I do. Because like ANS, we have Dilate, which is a non-stim pre, and then we have two different stim pre's, and I just take the Dilate. I take every day, and then if I need a little extra, I just add in the stims with it.
Yeah. I think and the other thing too, people should look out for if they're looking at pre-workouts is it's not just caffeine that can constrict or be a vasoconstrictor, because a lot of companies will be like, oh, well, we only got 300 milligrams of caffeine. I'm like, yeah, but then you have like synephrine and like all these other fucking stimulants. So now you're up to like 600 milligrams.
Yeah.
So you got to look at all the stims, not just caffeine alone.
Yeah.
Have you seen, I don't know if you've come across this in your research with your development of stuff, but caffeine actually works well to help dispose of carbohydrates, like a GDA almost.
Okay.
It can help with the uptake of carbohydrate.
I have heard this before, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of guys, and there's a lot of performance coaches, so strength and conditioning coaches, that will use caffeine post-workout with carbohydrates.
Oh, I never heard that before. How effective is it though? Like, is it you can replace
it? I need to investigate it more, but I just wondered whether you'd come across it, because I know there's a couple of coaches out there, good high level coaches that do that.
No, but one thing I did actually along the same line of thinking, I forget if it was a video I was watching or something I was reading where they were saying, eating fruit with starch actually helps uptake carbs better. Like having fructose with your starch, right? So like if you eat,
but isn't that because it's gonna increase a little more insulin?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
That's what it would make sense to me. Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah. It would
in theory make sense. Yeah.
Okay. All
right. Yeah, because fructose does spike insulin release more than.
Yeah. Well, it's a simple sugar, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but it spikes it a little harder than glucose, I believe.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I was asking. Because I don't like, a lot of times when you're dieting, you eliminate fruit. And I'm like, well, if I want to load faster, load harder.
When I load with passenger shows, I have fruit like almost every meal.
Yeah.
You can also you're also replenishing liver glycogen better with fructose, right?
Yeah, no, I know that. Yeah, so because I remember like Flex Lewis used to do that. I remember him, and I don't know if he did this for every show, so don't quote me. I just remember one of his shows. I remember him eating oatmeal with bananas.
Yep.
And that would be the formula.
I'll do bananas and pineapple with Patrick. We'll kind of alternate between the two.
Is that what you do?
Bananas useful because of the potassium, and I'm not going to go down the potassium route. But
don't go down the potassium route. Bananas shit compared to like other vegetables, other foods.
Yeah.
Potatoes primarily.
Potatoes is going to be your best result.
And do it. And
12 pounds of potatoes.
5 pounds of potato. I'm not allowed to do it anymore because I have this potassium issue. So I'm not allowed to do the fucking. I can't do the challenge.
Yeah, you know why you have it? Because you keep fucking eating potatoes every meal. Wait, I do remember at one point. It was after you'd had the podcast with Dr. Dean, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm going to start supplementing with potassium."
I did.
I'm like, "It's a terrible idea. Don't do it."
It was a terrible idea. It made me feel like shit after like 4 days. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not doing it no more. I was like, I'm bloated all the time. My fucking stomach hurts. Like, so I don't need the extra potassium. Fuck this. But no, I actually, yeah, I'm on a low potassium diet now. Not a low potassium, but I have to like, I avoid spinach. Yeah. So anyway, is cereal soup? That's such a good question. Is cereal soup? It is. It's cold
because you can eat cereal dry though.
Yeah, I guess
if you're putting it in milk, is it now soup?
Yeah. It is. It's cold soup.
But then you can say coffee is then soup as well.
Why? There's nothing in your coffee. It's not a food.
You're also not drinking it with a spoon.
No, but you don't drink coffee to eat. It's not a meal.
But you haven't seen me eat cereal.
No, but like seriously, cereal is a meal. Like people will be like, "What are you gonna have for breakfast?" Cereal. No one says, "What are you gonna have for breakfast?" Coffee.
But then so oats are the same thing then because you're adding water to.
Yeah, but
depending on how wet you have the oats, is that now not? I mean, I know when you're packing your ass, you were doing it dry, but if you have it like wet and liquidy,
can we not? All
right, but if you have it wet and liquidy, now is that oats not a soup then? Is that what you're saying?
No, because I don't think it's that liquidy. You can't make a soup. You can't make oats that liquidy that it's like soup.
Google says that cereal and oats and stuff are not soups.
Oh, Google's right. Fuck it. That's the end of that conversation. You can commentate the Olympia, but only if Shawn Ray is your partner. Do you do it? A non-behaved Shawn Ray? No, I don't.
No,
I won't commentate the Olympia with Shawn Ray. Because it would be weird. It would be like, why would you want to sit there and fight with somebody for fucking 3 hours? I mean,
I don't know, Fouad. Why would you?
Well, we do it on a podcast every week, but it's different. No, but seriously, like, it'd be fucking weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, that would.
Like, you have total animosity for this person. Now you're sitting there.
Because when we argue, it's like one of us is trying to like poach the other one. Yeah. But with him, you'd be like, "You're a fucking arsehole. I hate you."
That's serious.
I don't hate him. I don't indeed. I just think his commentating style.
Speaking strictly about his commentary, not him as a person.
Yeah. I'm not talking about him as a person. So, but I just don't feel like it would mesh well. Like if you have people commentating,
you need to have a mesh.
The more they get along, the better the show is going to sound. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like me and Luke started doing the podcast. The reason it went well is because people are like, "Oh, they get along." Yeah. Right? It's not you don't put two people that don't know each other or like each other or whatever and then be like, yeah, go do a show for 3 hours.
It would be so awkward. I'd watch it. It'd be amazing, but
maybe that's why they do it, just for the awkwardness of it.
Yeah.
They should. I've said this a million times. I do think they should do a bodybuilder and a judge. I think it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Because then when the audience member is sitting at home and they're like, I don't know why that guy placed to where he placed, the judge can explain it.
Yeah.
So that would be weird though, right? Because it'd be like such an honor to like get invited to do the Olympia, and then they're like, yeah, but there's this one caveat.
You got to do it with Shawn.
Would you guys do it?
I thought you were going to say, yeah, but there's this one cunt.
No, no, but like seriously, if Dan Solomon called you or Robin Chang called you or whatever, and he was like, you know, Ian or Ben or whatever, we want you to do the show, but you got to do it with Shawn Ray.
I don't think I would do it. First, I'd be like, why? And then if they gave me a good reason, I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
What do you think, Ben?
No, I wouldn't.
No,
he's not my type. I've every time I've spoken to him in person, it's been.
I mean, I might do it just for the fun of it, just to like fuck with him and just make it funny, you know?
Yeah.
Like call him out on all his bullshit while he's saying it just to be funny. And I think people would
you?
do that, but
Would you stop and be like, 2 seconds, Shawn, I'm up next, and then run up there? And
I don't think. I just don't think it would make. I think it would be more fun if two people got along that did it.
yeah.
Well, then would you do it with Dennis James?
100%. I love Dennis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think
that would be a better.
I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I think Dennis is great. I think, you know, it's weird. He commentated
Tampa.
Chicago or Tampa? It was Tampa. Yeah, like it's weird.
They did him and a woman. I can't remember the woman's name now.
Okay, you know what's really strange? So when Dennis commentated Tampa, he also picked out people's flaws quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, it just comes off differently.
It's very different. It's very different.
Yeah. It's just something about the way Shawn does it that I can't pinpoint.
No,
but
Shawn's like kind of like derogatory demeanor, which is very different.
You know how Dennis also approached it not just as a bodybuilder, which Shawn is only coming in as a retired bodybuilder. Dennis comes at it as a coach as well, because he's a good high-level coach. So when he's saying about being full or flat or not in condition, it's also coming from a coach's perspective, analytically. Whereas Shawn is just going, "I would have looked better than that."
Yeah.
That's how it comes across, right?
Yeah, Dennis would be great. I think Dennis is a lot of fun, and people respect Dennis. Everybody likes Dennis. I don't think anybody would. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Let me see here. Thoughts on high frequency training with reduced volume sessions versus typical pro split with increased volume to bring up lagging body parts. It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? That's the same question both ways.
Yeah.
He's saying high frequency training or a bro split or pro split with increased volume for lagging body parts. Well, when you increase the volume, you're just back to the high frequency training. So it's the same question.
I think people confuse volume and frequency a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, you have to be more specific. They're the same thing if you're talking about adding body.
Some people, volume for me is talking about the number of times you stimulate the muscle, not necessarily the number of reps you do.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing for me. Is when I say frequency, I'm talking about the number of times I hit the muscle that week.
Right, but that to me is increasing my volume.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's
why they're the same.
But I think what his question is asking, should he do like higher rep sets? Do you see what I mean? Like,
no, because he's saying thoughts on high frequency training, and then in brackets it says with reduced volume sessions. So he's saying less volume during the session, like less reps and sets.
So less reps, right?
Or maybe less sets, he means, but more higher volume, like more frequency. He's saying the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing both ways. So I don't know. But actually, while we're on this topic, I found the perfect groove for JP's training, and I absolutely love it.
What are you even doing?
I'm doing like JP's training or Dante's training, whichever one you want to call it, because I know they're kind of similar. I'm just doing more reps. So like where JP's feeder sets are like singles and doubles, mine are like 4 or 5 reps.
Yeah, that's
so it just feels safer. And then my failure set, like where JP's might be like 5 reps, mine's like 8 to 10, right? And I also figured out like you have to. And this might be an obvious statement, so I apologize ahead of time, but you have to decide what body parts you can go heavy on and what you can't, because there's certain movements I can do my failure set at 5 and feel safe. And there's other movements like when I tweak my chest where I should keep my rep range at 8 to 10.
Yeah.
So it's
there's two points I want to raise here. One is Joe Bennett, when they asked him like what the perfect rep range is, or where does at what rep range does like hypertrophy happen or occur, and he said the last reps, right?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. And that fits perfectly with what you're saying.
Yeah.
You can take the intensification and just apply it,
move it
a little later in a set, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another thing I've had a couple of people ask me this question.
Before you move on, can I ask you something about that?
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to build strength, which is why I think JP does it, you want to stay in the lower rep ranges.
Well, yeah, because you're working with a heavier load.
That's right. So that's why I'm saying like the 5 would be good, because I'm trying to build my strength, but it's not good.
equally, if you're doing 8 reps, sorry, Scott, I didn't mean to.
It's okay.
If you're doing 8 reps, and then the next week you do 8 reps but with more weight, you're stronger still.
Agreed. Yeah. But I'm just saying you'll get stronger faster.
You're talking about progressive overload from 2 sides of 2 different rep ranges.
Yeah. It's the same. Yeah, no, they're both.
Yeah.
They're both.
As long as the final rep is failure or like positive failure.
Yeah.
You're achieving a similar environment, but for you in a safer rep range.
Yeah. And I 100% agree with that. But what my point is for people that are healthy and are not injury prone or don't have anything, if you want to get stronger, the faster way to do it is to be failing at 5 or 6. No? Wouldn't you agree with that? Like guys who are loading, like their failure sets 4, 5, 6 reps, are probably going to get stronger faster.
Yeah, I personally think that from a nervous system standpoint, working with heavier weight like that is going to get you stronger faster. Yes.
Okay, but then if you're going to go down that route, because I come from a strength and conditioning coach's stance, you're doing lower reps, but not to failure for strength development.
Why is it not to failure?
You're not, because it's CNS development you're trying to improve. You're not trying to improve muscle size.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not saying from
absolute. No, but I'm okay. There's a spectrum, right? And then you have strength at one end, and then you have hypertrophy, and then you have endurance with the other end. Well, in terms of powerlifters very rarely fail, right? They're doing like 8, 9, 10 sets of 3 with a weight that they could do maybe 5 with, right?
Okay, so explain to me what it means. I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to learn or allow the people to learn that are watching. If I fail at 5 or 6 reps, what does that mean then?
That you've taxed the ability for the muscle to contract, right? Yeah. But that's not talking about force production. Maximal force production happens before muscular failure. Because when you get to the last few reps, force production and the speed of the bar slows down, right? Mm-hmm. So force production includes acceleration in there, right? There's a speed component.
Yeah.
When you're talking about strength and performance and power output, right?
Yeah.
So when you start going into the realms of muscular failure, you're now not training absolute strength.
No.
Agreed. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
But okay, so when I'm saying,
so if you're saying that you want to get stronger, the fastest way to get stronger, as strong as possible, you're not doing anything to failure.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So, but when you're doing a 5 or 6 rep set and you're failing at 5 or 6, are we not now blending the two things?
Yeah, which is why it's a good hybrid. That's why we as bodybuilders use it. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but it's not 5 or 6. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, depending on, as long as those final rep is a failure. You know?
Okay, but let me ask you this. So if let's say you have a dial, right? And you have like strength and hypertrophy, right? On either side. If I'm doing, if 7.5 reps is right in the middle, right?
Yeah.
If I'm doing 5 reps or 6 reps, I'm probably leaning more towards the strength side, or no? Does that not make sense?
Yeah, it does. But what I'm saying, like, it's not, like you said, it's a dial. It's a continuum, right?
Yeah.
It falls within that aspect of.
Okay, so that makes my point. So what I'm saying is I want to build my strength, but I'm still bodybuilding. So on the movements I feel healthy on and feel like I'm safe to do that movement heavier, I'll do a 5 or 6 failure. Yeah. On the movements where I'm like, this has fucked me before, I better be careful, I'll do a 8 to 10 failure.
Right.
So all I'm saying is I found a good system where I can work within JP's parameters and still stay healthy.
Stay healthy and
improve. Yeah. Because I just feel like the reason I'm bringing all this up is I feel sometimes people take somebody's system and they're like, I got to do it the way JP does it. JP said,
you need to have some kind of adaptation to yourself.
Yeah. Well, because JP says, I only do a single or a double for my feeder. And I'm like, yeah, for some people that might fuck them.
No,
like,
for you,
like me.
For your age, that's not, you need to do more than that.
Yeah. But even I think for a younger guy, like, there are certain movements I remember from when I was younger. There are certain movements that are more dangerous than others.
Yeah.
And it also depends where in the workout it is. Like Ian was saying that, some of his squats will be towards the end of the session. And I do the same thing. So a lot of my compounds are much later in the session. So therefore, I don't actually need that many warm-up sets as if it was my first exercise, right?
Yeah.
I noticed, dependent.
It's crazy. Like I always used to do my squats closer to the beginning.
Yeah.
In the last workout, I did my squats closer to the end. But because I'm using the system, I was still stronger on my squat. Like I wasn't as burned out because there was only a couple failure sets before I had gotten there.
Yeah,
there was a whole bunch of like feeder sets and warm-ups.
There's a lot less fluff volume, yeah.
There's a lot, but there was no failure sets. So when I got to my squat, I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good. Like this feels, yeah.
I told you, Luke and I, all our heavy lifting is at the end.
Yeah.
And you've seen when I've been posting my heavy lifts, most of my big compounds, even now, they're third, fourth, fifth exercise.
I mean, like the last video I posted doing the 9 plates aside on the machine deadlift, that was my very last movement.
Yeah.
You know,
I wonder.
All my deadlifting movements will be at the end for sure.
It's very frustrating to me because I wonder to myself how much better I could have been had I learned this system 15 years ago.
That's hard to say.
I'm just saying, like, dude, it feels so much better. And even Guy, so me, Guy, and Nick Walker did a podcast together, and me and Nick were on him about doing way too much because he was doing kind of what I was doing back in like 2012, where he would do like every set was a working set.
Yeah.
Right. And we're like, dude, you're doing way too much. So he's all of a sudden feels like his body's exploding.
Yeah.
Because he's stopped and he's doing like just what we're talking about now.
He's putting all the emphasis on the sets that actually matter, not like sub-maximal sets, right?
Yeah. It's crazy. Anyway.
So the other thing I was going to get to.
Sorry.
I've had a couple of messages about it with people confusing the application of feeder sets versus intensifiers. So I've had 3 people ask me in the last week, do you alternate between workouts of doing feeder sets on one week and then intensifiers on the other? And I'm like,
they're very different though.
They're not the same thing.
No, the feeders it's just a warm up, right?
Before, yeah. You know what the problem is?
People are getting confused with what they think the feeder set is the workout.
I know, but this is why Rich Piana used to do feeder workouts.
Right.
So when we say feeder, I think they all watch Rich Piana's stuff and they don't know it's different. Yeah.
That clicked to me after I replied to one of the guys because he was like, "Oh, do you do like feeder set?" And that's what I was doing the doctors, and he's like, "Oh, do you just do feeder sets on that?" I'm like,
"Yeah, it's different." Yeah,
I'm warming up and then I'm doing my straight heavy sets.
Yeah, they don't. When we say feeder, we mean like a warm up or working warm up. Rich Piana was doing feeder workouts, which was like 100 reps or something, like, I don't know, on an off day. I forget what the definition was for him.
It's almost like a German volume training on steroids, basically. Was what Rich Piana's thing was. It was just a ton of volume and a ton of sets.
Somebody explained it to me. It was like supposed to be like on an off day, you take a lagging body part and you do like 100 reps and then you leave, and that's like the feeder workout.
Versus the intensifier, which is obviously something to add intensity to the set, like a drop set or
set. An intensifier is different than both altogether. An intensifier is basically just an intensity technique, whether it be a drop set, rest pause, whatever the fuck it is. So, okay. Why are some people so wrapped up in science, like saying people is always better than bro split, when most pros are doing things based off experience and it works for them? I think that science has a part in all of it. It just, we don't.
Wait, that's not the question. The question is, why are some people too wrapped up in it? And obviously, the obvious answer is yes, that science does have an aspect in it. But when you get people that are like way too much science and way too little intuition, I think that's where the question lies.
I think because it's kind of like when you go to Good Life and you're like, I want to be a personal trainer, and they're like, do you have a CanFit license? And I'm like a trainer certificate, and I'm like, I've been bodybuilding for 20 years. I'm like, yeah, but do you have a certificate? It's like people put so much stock in that little piece of paper. And I think science gives them something to look at. Well, science says that fucking whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but I did this thing for 2 years and it doesn't.
I think a lot.
Right.
I was going to say, I think a lot of times from what I've seen, the guys that are married to science says this are trying to outsmart hard work.
That's what I was going to say. And it's not always the case, because like you obviously have guys like Chris Tuttle and stuff who are obviously fucking smart as shit and do work hard. But I think in a lot of cases, I think that's what it is. It's people trying to outsmart like the work side of it. And they think if they have some kind of, scientific edge of, some kind of training technique or some kind of weird food manipulation, that they can overcome either their genetics or their work ethic or something like that. Yeah.
I think there are the people I shouldn't say love the most. The people I respect the most are people like Chris and John Meadows.
Yeah.
Chris Tuttle, John Meadows.
Because it's a healthy marriage of the two.
What they've done is, I want to know why this works. And then they go and they research and they find all the science. But John has actually literally said to me word for word, I don't know why that works, but it does. So obviously John has figured out that there is science, but then there's experience, and if they have to go together.
Science and then like anecdotal like evidence of like something just working are two very different things. And I think that's the thing is a lot of people get too tied up on like, well, in science this doesn't work, so I won't do it, which I don't think in bodybuilding is how things work, right?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the whole like fasted cardio thing. For a long time, I was like, fasted cardio is better.
Yeah.
Or getting up in the morning doing your cardio is better, and people be like. And I used to get so much pushback. Well, science just says it doesn't matter. And I'm like, okay, but I've done this for 20 years. And I'm like, it matters. I've tried both.
It does. To me, it matters 100%. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that just people have to have a healthy, it's good to know why things work and why something's working. Like, Ben, you just went off on a scientific tangent about muscle strength and fucking all that.
Stimulation, yeah.
Yeah, so it's important to know why things work. But if you do the thing you learned in a textbook and it's not working, it's not fucking working.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem when you're married to the theory, even when the theory's not working.
Yeah, like I say to people, try the theory. Go ahead, try it out. But if you've done it for fucking 4 weeks and nothing's happening, or 8 weeks or whatever, then it's shit.
Yeah.
So, how do you get your elbows warmed up properly for arm day? No matter what or how much I warm up, they're cracking and it's painful. The first thing I will say is something Dante Trudell taught me was get a menthol cream, look at the ingredients, make sure the menthol is 11% or more. So like
for you fine?
It's great. Like Tiger Bomb's got like 11 or 12%. Well, so
Quan Loon oil is good, right?
So people, what's that?
That Quan Loon oil is pretty good.
I've never tried that. What is that?
I got some up there. I got some up in the thing.
It's just
it's a menthol oil, basically.
Yeah, it's like anything like that, but just don't use like Ben Gay and shit because they're only like 3% menthol. They're shit. They just basically like irritate your skin. But if you get like a good 11% menthol or more, and then that's why people always see me wearing elbow sleeves.
Yeah.
Because I put the cream on before the gym to get the blood there, and I put the elbow sleeve over top to keep it warm.
Keep it warm and hold it in, yeah.
And then you still have to warm up a lot. Like there's no.
Yeah.
And then if your elbows are fucked, you probably have tendonitis of some sort. So you should be icing like immediately after your workout.
Yeah.
And the last thing is, I've never seen that. I'm gonna try that.
It's
what's the menthol? What's the menthol?
Menthol silica is 35%, and then menthol is 16%.
Wow, that's got to burn when you put that shit on, eh?
And it's $10. Well, it depends where you put it, Fouad.
I'm not gonna put it on my asshole. Let me see the name. Is it Quan?
With his peanut butter and put it on his ass.
Quan Loon. Okay, yeah, I didn't check that out.
It's like $10 for that.
Can I just say one thing though about this before we move on? Everybody buys like all the fucking joint care products and all that shit.
Yeah.
Your number one best joint care product you can buy is fish oil.
Fish oil, by far.
Like if you do, and don't get if you want to really be serious about it, get the fucking the liquid.
Yeah.
There's one made by a company called NutraC. It's Nutra and then SEA.
Yeah.
It's got a higher ratio of EPA to DHA. If you use that one and do like 1 teaspoon in the morning, 1 teaspoon at night, I swear your joints will thank you.
And another thing for people looking at fish oil, this is a big thing because a lot of companies sneak this by. When you're buying fish oil, make sure it's the fish sources they're using are small fish that feed off plantation, not large fish that feed off other fish.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you don't if you are eating a fish that's higher in the food chain, you're getting more toxicity levels, where if you're getting ones that feed off plantation, your EPA, DHA quality is going to be a lot higher. So when it's like sardine, anchovy, mackerel, stuff like that,
yeah.
So the smaller fish that feed on plantation is absolutely optimal for sure.
Yeah, and then the last part about that is the fish oil won't do shit if your diet sucks. So basically what you're trying to do is reduce the inflammation, and that's why it works. And if
is that the NutraC one?
That's the NutraC one, yeah.
Okay. They make a NutraC HP as well. It's a high potency. It's a little higher EPA, DHA content.
So if you're eating like a lot of fucking sugar, like you're eating like chips and candies and fuck,
it's going to increase inflammation.
You're going to cause more inflammation, and no amount of joint care or fucking.
If you're buying fucking like shit from the like grocery store, don't buy omega 369. You don't need the fucking 6.9. Just get your omega 3.
Omega 3, yeah. Well,
omega 6 is pro-inflammatory too, so you don't fucking need that. Get that out of there.
Yeah, that's what most people don't understand is omega 6. We always in our diets we have a very high ratio of omega 6 to omega 3, and that's what causes the inflammation.
Yes. So you need to reduce that or bring the ratio up of omega 3.
You need to eat more omega 3 foods. Yes. That's why like if people are like, "Oh, why are you eating grass-fed beef?" Like that's the reason why, because the grass-fed has a lot higher ratio of omega 3 to omega 6 in the fats.
Yes.
And the same thing goes for your eggs. If you're buying regular grocery store eggs, it's like the ratio is like 21-3 omega-6. And if you
even out that ratio.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, so we've gone off on a far tangent, but those things all, like, people look for the quick fix Band-Aid of, oh, how can I make my elbows feel better? Sometimes it's your diet, it's your supplementation, and then it's get the fucking liquid oil or cream or whatever the fuck you can put on. Like, because those oils and creams we're talking about are just Band-Aids. They're not going to fix the root of the problem.
I mean, at that point, you might need to get into like therapy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, get some kind of work done.
Yeah. If you have really bad tendonitis, it might be because, like, one of the things I found with my knees, for example, is the quad was so tight, it was pulling on the tendon.
Yeah. So
I had to loosen up my quads for the tendon to relax. So there's so many different things that could be going on.
Yeah.
When you're doing the 20K, when are you doing the 20K challenge again? You should do it soon. Keon's doing one today. What do you think, he's going to get there or no?
No.
Let's see how he's doing. I forgot. We can check that out.
He's doing it live.
I told him to put it in his stories so I could follow along, and I haven't been able to check today because I've been busy. But we can check together. Let's see how he's getting on.
You had him on yesterday?
Yeah, I had him on. I wanted to talk to him about why he's not doing Olympia and all that. And all right, let's see where he's at.
He's put one meal, which looks too clean. Oh no, that's someone else posted that. Tagged him. He hasn't posted anything about it.
Oh, that sucks. It's already fucking 2:00. He should be like 10,000 calories deep by now.
Well, he's just not your puppet. It's basically
maybe. He said he was going to post it. He said he's such an asshole. He said he was going to post it. I was like, okay, cool. I want to follow. I think
you don't pay him, man.
I bet you he backed out. Or maybe he just wants it all to be on video so that people watch. But
yeah, free.
All right, we'll do a few more. How long have we been on for? Almost 2 hours.
No.
Well, we started at 1 or 12?
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hour and a half. Okay, we got a few more. You guys got time? You got to go.
No, I'm good.
I got 15.
Ben, you got, okay, good. Best legs of all time.
Oh.
Tom Platz, Paul DeMeo.
I'm just going to mute this because my dogs are going to bark. Go ahead.
It's going to be Tom Platz, Paul DeMeo, Branch Warren, Ronnie Coleman, Ben Pekulski, Eric Fankhauser.
I was keeping my mouth shut about Eric because Eric's my fanboy. He's the only one I'm fanboy over, and I was like,
crazy ass, dude. Fuck.
But
what about Jason?
Jason who?
Huh? Well, the hamstring. The hamstring. That's the leg on the side shot.
Yeah, but overall leg. Yeah. And if I was going to go hamstrings, I would go Tom Prince.
Yeah, crazy hamstrings there.
I think the problem with Fankhauser over DeMeo or Pekulski or Platz is the amount of definition and detail.
Yeah.
Because they were fucking humongous, but they didn't get like crazy, like Jay Cutler hard feathered.
Yeah.
But I also think he ended short, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't.
You know, give him another 5-10 years. If he'd have kept going, I think that would have matured, and they would have just been wacky.
I really think if you want the truth, it's between DeMeo and Platz. And Pekulski. Is Pekulski in that group, or is it the three of them?
Yeah, Pekulski's a pretty fucking mental.
We should probably show people what we're talking about. Let's see here.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, because I can't picture.
So.
And Platz are fucking retarded though. Like in terms of complete development.
Well, and they were just like so ahead of their time too.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking like even the adductor is just crazy.
But he doesn't have the calves of some of the B packs and the Fankhausers.
If I was him, my whole Instagram would be my legs. Why is there only like? Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's fucking ridiculous.
It's so dense. Like the density of the muscle on his legs is just crazy.
I don't know, man. I don't think that anybody compares. Like, I know people want to argue Tom Platz just so there's a debate, but I don't know if there's really a debate. It's fucking ridiculous.
No, go down one from there. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Look at his adductors. Look at the fucking width on his, like, on that right picture. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I just don't think there's any comparison. I mean, the fucking detail is just.
And the hamstring there on the side. Look at that fucking belly.
Yeah, right here. Yeah. Yeah, I would say.
Here you go. No, go up. Right side. No,
look at
one
the,
more.
wait a second. Look at the depth. Have you ever thought, I can't even do that. That's.
Go up one row and right one.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
It is.
That's on a fucking like Polaroid camera as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I don't know, man. I just have to say, do you think somebody made a Paul DeMeo page?
Yeah, he probably has one.
Well, there's a page. So Paul DeMeo's legs are probably. Oh, there's nobody on it. No pictures.
Google.
How come there's no?
Just go to the tags.
I'll just Google.
So.
Yeah, there, right side. Look at far right. Up one, far right.
Yeah, that's the only. I feel like it's the only true comparison.
Yeah, that's a crazy set of legs.
I want to find it.
Center.
There you go.
That's great.
Balloons.
But I want to find one where it's like shredded and detailed, not pumped.
Go Google.
One sec. I'm sure I'll find something here. How come it's so much upper body? His legs were the fucking shit. Okay, let's go to Google. Let's see what we got here. Look at this. This isn't real. He looks like he's 19 here.
That's stretched out, yeah.
I think Tom Platz has got him crushed, if you want the truth.
Yeah.
Go down one more row. No, go down. No, yeah, down, right there. Yeah,
Holy fuck.
that's pretty good.
Pretty good. That's insane. Look at the depth in the fucking, between the knee and the fucking, oh my God.
He's swallowing his fucking kneecap.
I don't know. What do we think, Dennis? Do we think Paul DeMeo or do we think Tom Platz?
I go Tom.
Look at this. It's tough, man. I think the adductors is what gives Tom Platz the
edge.
The edge. But the quad itself, I think he's even.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Crazy, man. Should we look up Ben?
And then Ben's going to be third.
Back legs.
Let's see here. Look at these monster fucking quads.
Fucking ridiculous, yeah.
I feel like there's more depth to DeMeo's and Platz.
Yeah.
Like, you know that how we were looking at the difference between the knee and the rectus femoris?
Center top row.
Center top, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But they're absolutely incredible legs. I would put them third, though, or fourth. It would depend on him and Fankhauser.
I think they're probably bigger than Platz in terms of, like,
overall size.
But in terms of, yeah. He's a bigger man than Platz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not quite as crazy right now.
But I don't think they're as good.
Is it that they're not as good, or is it that his upper body is just so much bigger that they don't look? Because, Tom Platz's upper body and Paul DeMeo's upper body are small in comparison to their legs, whereas Ben's upper body is equal to his legs.
You think so?
Is it? Oh yeah.
That was his biggest knock. Is Ben's?
No. I don't mean the muscularity of it. I mean the structure of it. Like when you look at you look at this structure, it hit the lower body, right? Whereas when you look at Tom Platz, it's like his upper body is much smaller than his legs.
Yeah.
Okay. Tom Platz is a small guy, right? He's what, 212 basically.
Yeah, but his legs belong on Pekulski's body. So what I'm saying is, are Ben's legs just as good, but we're not
third row down, second from the left.
Third row down, second from the left.
No, left.
Oh, this
left.
one.
Yeah, there. Let's see that.
I can't.
Hamstrings and shit are crazy too.
Yeah.
I have Eric in front of him.
Do you?
Really?
But I'm biased. I'm so biased with Eric. Eric's like.
See, for me, it was always a detail thing with him. He always had more mass than everybody, but
Those calves.
look at this.
Go down one from that one.
Okay, seriously, man. Yeah, this is fucking insane. But see, again, this is like Paul DeMeo and Tom Platz. He's got a smaller upper body and these massive quads. Whereas,
but forget the upper body though. We would go waist down out of the four of them.
No. I know that, but what I'm trying to say is, illusion-wise, when we're looking at them.
Yeah, no, I get you. It's distracting.
Yeah, maybe Ben.
How did it even happen that you end up with legs that much bigger than your upper body?
Genetics are a bitch. Look at these. Look at
Yeah.
these.
Or is that just like you train your legs like a freak and don't train your upper body hard?
He's the one who taught me about railroads.
What the fuck's that?
Oh yeah.
Dude, railroads are insane. That's where I put on a lot of leg mass that year, actually. Railroads are, you do the leg press. You start with 1 plate for 10 reps, 2 plates for 20 reps, 3 plates for 30, 4 plates for 40, all the way up to 100. So 10 plates for 100.
Yeah.
And then all the way back down.
10 plates, 10 plates for 100 reps.
I never got to
it.
Yeah,
but you're barely resting, right? I tried. Do you remember I tried this after you said it? Yeah. And I made it to 6. I think I made it up to 6 plates aside for 60 and then all the way back down again. And I was like, God, that was fucking rough. And he's like, yeah, I told you. I was like, yeah. And he's like, hang on a second. Did you like squat and do everything beforehand? I'm like, yeah, I did a full session and I finished on railroads. Yeah.
No, it's the most I ever did was 80. I got to 8 plates for 80 and I never could get past that. It's
what's the rest between the 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plate?
I just kept it kind of a normal rest. I didn't like do I don't know what the rule
so
is.
It's not like you're doing 1 racket, put plates on 2.
No.
That's what I did. Because I was training on my own. I did a plate and I'd do the set. I'd get up, I'd put a plate on, grab a drink, back on, 2 plates, 3.
Well, I kind of did that too. I mean, I was training with Paul, so Paul would do his set and I would do my set, but we didn't take like 5-minute rest. Like we didn't take an extra rest.
Yeah, I think I go, you go would be perfect for that.
That's what we were doing. And the problem, people think that you can rest during. You can't rest during. So when they say like, 8 plates for 80, you got to do all 80 without racking the weight.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. You end up like really destroying every muscle in your lower body because by the time you're done, your calves are sore, your hamstrings are sore, like everything's fucked.
Every fucking feet are sore, yeah.
Yeah, I got that from Fankhauser. Fankhauser's the one who taught me volume because at the time I was training my legs like every other body part. I was doing really heavy 6 reps, really heavy 8 reps, whatever. And Fankhauser's like, start doing 20s on everything. Start doing 15s, start doing 20s. You can do heavy squats and, keep the squats a little lighter. But when you're on a hack squat or you're on a leg press, go to 15s or 20s and you'll see a difference. And fucking my legs blew up that year.
Yeah.
So, is Khabib the MMA GOAT?
This is a big thing right now, eh?
Yeah.
No.
John Jones was not happy about that.
Who said the smartest thing? Is it Steve Smith? Who's the guy that John Jones fought two or three fights ago? Anthony Smith. So Anthony Smith says, and this was to me was the best argument about this I've seen. The GOAT is greatest of all time, which is John Jones, in my opinion. The pound for pound is Khabib because that's a current pound for pound. And it's also like, it doesn't necessarily mean anything about your track record. It means who's the best fighter pound for pound. So I think Khabib can win that argument, but I don't think he can win the greatest of all time argument because that's a body of work.
The problem is the people seem to be, I was watching something about this earlier, arguing John Jones's title defenses, especially in the early days when he was 23, 24.
I know.
Because everyone was saying, lightweight's the hardest weight division. I'm like, currently, correct.
Yeah.
When John Jones won the light heavyweight, that weight division was full of killer. And he took out like Hua, Belfort, Machida, like
everybody.
All former world champions. He ran through them all.
But people could.
Like Rashad Evans.
Yeah, but wait a minute. But also, 1 second. If I'm going to play devil's advocate, a lot of those guys were on their way out when he beat them. He didn't beat Shogun at his peak. He didn't beat Belfort at his peak. He didn't beat.
He won the belt off of Shogun.
I know, but he still wasn't his best. And
he was the current reigning world champion.
I know, but he wasn't his best. Do you think that was the best version of Shogun?
Close.
No, but then I don't think outside of Khabib only fought one former world champion, and that was Conor McGregor.
I know that. I'm just saying. I'm not talking about Khabib. I'm just talking about John Jones. The guys he beat, the biggest names that he beat, mostly were kind of on their way out. Like Rashad Evans was kind of on his way out when he beat him.
Aside from Rashad, I think everyone else. I mean, Shogun fought fucking like this year.
I just think Shogun's best years were.
Shogun fought this year.
I think Shogun's best years were before he fought John Jones, though.
But then Conor's best years were before he fought Khabib.
No, Conor's still in his prime. He's just not fighting that much. I don't listen. I'm in
Machida?
agreement. I'm in agreement with you anyway. I think John Jones is probably the GOAT, but I think pound for pound, Khabib's the best because one is about a body of work and one is about skill, and I think Khabib has shown more dominance than John Jones has. His last 3 fights. I mean, people could argue Ray has beat him.
Yeah, but I think that's just him being fucking lazy than anything else.
Well, I'm just saying though that
I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I think John Jones is the greatest of all time. I think pound for pound right now, Khabib. Yeah. I think there's an argument for a couple of other pound for pounds that don't include John Jones.
But the problem is John Jones is arguing GOAT status. This is what Anthony Smith was saying is they're arguing 2 different points.
Yeah.
Khabib wants to be the pound for pound great, and Jones is arguing about GOAT status, and Khabib never said anything about GOAT status. So John Jones is just freaking out for no reason.
But I also said that why, like, you shouldn't, like, some people were saying, why is he even asking for pound clarity? That's a weird thing to ask.
I actually don't know if he was asking, like, can you please? I think he was just saying it like, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
I don't think he was asking permission because nobody can really say yes. Like, there's no way to actually say yes. It's just somebody's opinion.
That's a weird thing. But again, like you said, it's a weird. Both things are weird. It's like, how do you quantify them? It's apples and oranges, right?
I think he was just emotional after winning.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, how do you even quantify who's the GOAT, who's the pound for pound? It's such a
you can't
fluid. Like, it depends. What are you valuing? Are you valuing who they fought? Are you valuing how much damage they took? Are you valuing the era, who they fought?
Yeah,
because Khabib did fight that many. In my eyes, John Jones fought more high caliber, dangerous people.
For sure.
I don't disagree with you. I just think it's the dominance of Khabib that's different.
He was very dominant.
But that's what I'm thinking. If you say John Jones when he was 23, 24, 25, it was the same dominance. He was putting people on the ground and mauling them.
Yeah, you're right.
Before, that was when he was ground and pounding people. Yeah. Then he stopped doing that. And now that's what people remember is what he's been doing the last 3 years. I'm talking about when he was 23, 24, 25, and he was a fucking murderer.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's where the distinction comes in between GOAT and pound for pound, because pound for pound is like a current ranking. Yeah. Whereas GOAT is body of work. Yeah. So I think that's the
and none of us can comment on that because there's that argument of he doesn't get on the list if he's got a PED infraction, right?
I don't believe that shit. I kind of believe that shit though, because if you look at like
none of us can comment on that.
Well, I'm not saying he's an asshole for doing it because I do it, but I'm saying like there is something to be said for that, right? Because like look at the difference in fighters when they get off. Look at like Vitor Belfort, look at Alistair Overeem, look at these guys who are like
but I'm like put them all on it. Put them all on it and let's have a bunch of murderers.
Yeah.
Because they were all better like you were talking about the Olympia, right? You want to see the best of the best. Well, you're talking about Vitor when he was at his best, he was juiced up. Alistair Overeem when he was juiced up. Let him go nuts.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Put them all on it.
But I'm saying if I have two fighters that I'm looking at for GOAT status and one's natural and one's not, you kind of got to go, okay, well, this guy's killing everybody and he's not taking nothing. So that guy kind of gets a nod, right?
So do you think Daniel Cormier is better than John Jones, even though he never beat him?
I think I'd like to see what John Jones looks like without taking steroids.
In theory, but he's had more clean tests than he has negative tests.
John Jones' shittiest fights were after USADA took over.
Yeah.
Right. And so your argument with the Olympia where you want to be entertained.
No. That's not what the argument is. You're saying what is John Jones or Daniel Cormier? And all I'm saying is I don't know what John Jones looks like natural except for his last three fights, which were his worst fights. So I'm like, yes, he's still better than Daniel because he beat him when he was natural, but he's not that impressive after fucking USADA came into play. His most impressive fights were when he was fucking on juice.
But he might have been clean when he was 23 on the very first one, right? Maybe.
I don't believe that. Both his brothers playing the NFL. It's like fucking, they're just giving him some shit on the side. They're like, here.
Are you saying that NFL players take drugs? What are you saying now?
All right, let's do a couple more. Can you talk about choosing a coach? What you looked for in your first coach when you know it's time to move on? What red flags to look out for? Let's just do what red flags to look out for. What's the most important thing to not, when you see it, you're like, I better not go that way. Because I think the most important thing to me anyway, when I'm choosing a coach, is that we have the same mental approach.
Yeah, that's the biggest for me, for sure.
Yeah.
The one of the biggest things for me is communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've worked with a number of high level coaches, and if you say that all their knowledge is equal, it doesn't matter how good they are if you can't get that knowledge from them.
True.
Yeah, I mean, communication is obviously going to be just the fundamental thing in successful of any sort of relationship, whether it's coaching, personal. It's like,
I got a red flag that's really, really bad that we've actually encountered recently. If you tell a coach you have an issue and the coach is like, suck it up, that's a red flag. Depending on what the issue is. If you're like, I'm tired, and he says, suck it up, then suck it up, shut the fuck up. But if you're like, hey, I've lost 20 pounds this week and I feel really weak and I'm not strong anymore in the gym, and he's mentioning you're mentioning all these things, and the coach is like, suck it up, that's kind of a red flag, because your coach should not just ignore the fact that you've lost strength, you've lost so much weight, and blah, 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 blah. So I think if your coach is telling you to fuck off when you're having real issues, not bullshit issues, that's a red flag.
Yeah, that's just negligence. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just somebody who doesn't want to do any extra work. So, but I don't know, any other red flags? Anything that comes to mind when you guys, when you're finding a coach and you're like, I shouldn't work with that guy? Because I feel like there's a lot of shitty coaches out there.
Yeah, I tell you what, when a coach makes a change, and this is more in a prep, right? If a coach makes a change or gives you a refeed and then doesn't ask you to send pictures the next day or see a response from it, they've just given you a cheat meal because they pulled it out their ass. And look, if you're giving someone, especially, from 8 weeks out, I'm wanting to see the body's response, right? I'm game planning for peak week, if you want to call it that. Yeah. I want to see, how does your body respond when we give you this? Okay, you're full, you're flat, you're holding water, you're doing this, you're doing that. And then I'm tweaking and watching what the body does in the subsequent days after that meal, because it all matters,
Yeah.
At any level, I think. That's why my coaching is a flat rate, right, for everyone, because I try and treat everyone the same, doesn't matter what. Whether you're a pro, whether you're an amateur, I want to be involved and tweak and tinker. And I think if you're not assessing, like once you're inside 6 weeks, you're doing check-ins every few days, right? If you got a coach and they're like, oh, once a week, it's fine. I'm like, once a week, especially for a bigger bodybuilder, you know what it's like. Your body's changing daily.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot's going on, especially you get inside through like 5 weeks out, 4 weeks out. If your coach isn't watching what's happening, how can they? Like they can't predict what's going to happen in the final few days or hours of the show. Yeah, and it changes that quick. So to me, that's a red flag. But you won't know that until you get there. So,
I keep seeing this question. I was going to ask: Ben Chow versus Rami in a fight, who wins?
Rami.
Yeah.
I think you could beat Rami in a fight.
I think a 70% Rami beats Ben.
40%.
I think Ben wins.
I think Ben wins.
I can only imagine how hard it is to.
Yeah, I can't picture Rami fighting. I think that would be impossible.
No, but like even if he was tough, imagine the amount of endurance he has at that size.
He's way too tired trying to fight.
He'd be tired after 30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Distance control is everything.
Yeah.
They can make him move.
Have to get you with one good one right off the bat, or you'd be done.
Yeah.
How to deal with being tired when you have to train or do cardio? Suck it up. That's the red flag. That's the red flag.
600 milligrams of caffeine, and don't worry about the pump.
That's right. No, there's no answer to that, is there? There's no fucking answer to that. No, when you're tired and you got to train, go fucking train.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the 200 or 300 milligrams in a pre-workout should be enough to get you going. Like, if I've been tired before, I drink a pre-workout, 300 milligrams of caffeine, I'm fucking good to go. Like. Yeah. Do you think there's anything other athletes can learn from bodybuilding and vice versa?
Yes, that's a very in-depth question.
That's a long question.
I think you can learn from everyone and you can and should learn from as many different places as you can.
What can we learn from football? Nothing. What can we learn from fighting? Nothing. What can we learn from basketball? Nothing.
No, okay, but you're going way too direct. I mean, there could be mental.
I'm being an asshole, but I'm being serious too.
But like, there could be mental things we could learn. Like maybe a fighter has, you know, good things on mental preparation before fight, because obviously the mental game of fighting is going to be fucking gigantic compared to most other sports.
I tell you what, here's what we can
learn for sure.
Here's what we can learn from fighting. We have to make weight or diet down and then walk out on stage in our pants. They have to make weight and diet down, dehydrate, and then go punch each other in the fucking face.
Yeah, but they get to rehydrate and eat for a fucking day before.
Oh, so do we. We're carving up.
This is a simple answer, and you guys probably know more about fighting than me. Why is it, and is this because you can maintain better strength and energy throughout the entire camp? Why is it that fighters and stuff like this do way more rapid, drastic cuts than like we do, where we like lose like 2 pounds a week for 20 weeks?
I just think they're behind the curve. I don't know that either. I've thought that
like
myself.
Also, they just do like crazy sauna, fucking dehydration, try and drop 20 pounds in like fucking 4 hours. We're like, yo, you could have just dieted off 2 pounds a week for 10 weeks, bro. Like,
well, Jared Cannonier did that. He dieted down, so he didn't really have to make weight. He was just at weight.
Yeah.
So, a lot of it is if you are just at weight. So say you're fighting at 200 pounds. Well, I know it's not a weight class, but say 200 pounds, right, is your weight class. But your actual 220, and then you dehydrate to 200.
And you come back up, you're fighting at 220.
But the next time you're 220. Whereas the guy that diets off the body weight makes 200 pounds without dehydrating. The next day is 202 pounds.
Yeah.
So I've got 18 pounds of body weight to throw at you, and it makes a fucking difference.
That makes
sense. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense than what I said.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay, one more. Top 5 supplements and top 5 supplement brands minus Hostile. We're not going to answer that one. Hostile is the top 5 brands. That's all. Is it possible to stay at pro level without using Tren? Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Chris doesn't Tren.
Did this guy, Francis, this guy's name's Francis. Francis, we don't use Tren all the time, every day. Not every pro uses Tren, correct?
I mean, Chris Bumstead will win Olympia this year using no Tren. Yeah,
it's really weird that's actually like a thought that somebody had, that he thinks every pro is on Tren.
Not if Logan has anything to do with it.
Logan Franklin coming for the win.
Okay, one more good one. Would you rather be able to put on 4.23 pounds of solid muscle every time you eat over 20,000 calories in a day, or grow back all your hair but you lose one of your fingers? What?
Grow back all of your. Well, I still got a pretty decent head of hair, so I'm okay with this one.
I think that's directed at you, Fouad, because
I don't want to lose a finger. I'm fine. I don't care. I look good bald. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you look good bald, yeah.
So yeah, that's a shit question. So aside from the hair, why is it 4.23 pounds of solid muscle for 20,000?
Just trying to be funny with a very hilarious.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. All right. We're gonna wrap it up because Ian's yawning. So.
I just got the yawn stay. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. It's all good.
I'm tired. I'm just like keep yawning. Like
it's all right. Yeah. It's because you're in the Olympia house.
Yeah.
I'm still baffled by the fact that you live in a house with 2 Olympia winners.
Well, like, hey, Chris and Courtney don't live with me.
Yeah, but you're friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She was just here because her molts were going to train.
You were going to wrap it up, and I started relaxing, so I'm about to piss myself.
Okay. I'll talk to you guys next week.
See you guys.
Right,
later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.